Hello everybody, welcome back for another video. Hope you're having a great day and that you are all doing well. To start things off, Vitalik Buterin was recently talking about exactly how far he believes that Ethereum could eventually scale. Vitalik Buterin has shed some light on the subject of sharding and plasma, while essentially suggesting that Ethereum's network will ultimately be capable of supporting tens of thousands of transactions per second. Omisego held a special holiday AMA on May 30th, which we spoke about a tiny bit, which featured Ethereum's founder Vitalik Buterin. While the entire session was filled with interesting insight, what definitely caught the attention of most viewers were Buterin's thoughts on sharding and plasma, two major improvements to the Ethereum blockchain which are currently under development. As it currently stands, Ethereum's blockchain can, according to Buterin, support up to 15 transactions per second, recognizing that this has become wildly inefficient and, for what it's worth, insufficient. Buterin explained that the team's concentrated efforts have been to handle what could be a major roadblock for Ethereum's further development. Vitalik explained that sharding is a layer 1 solution, which is designed to directly improve the existing blockchain, essentially making it a lot better. Currently, every node running on the Ethereum network needs to process every transaction going through it. While this validation process provides a high amount of security, it also suggests that the blockchain itself can only be as fast as its individual nodes, disregarding the sum of their parts. Sharding, on the other hand, describes a condition of the blockchain where the network is split into smaller partitions called shards, which contain independent transaction history. In this scenario, individual nodes would only have to process transactions for certain shards, hence allowing the overall transaction throughput in total to be greater, as a single node wouldn't have to do all the work. Without reading the entire thing, because it kind of goes on for a tiny bit, I'll get to the important part. Buterin also explained that the scalability improvements of both layer 1 and layer 2 solutions will eventually multiply each other. He provided an example in which Ethereum sees a scalability increase by a factor of 100 even through sharding, while also mentioning that it could be higher than that. Ethereum's founder then stressed that when you add plasma on top of that, the network itself wouldn't have to do 100 times the amount of activity. Instead, it will do 100 times the amount of entrances, exits, and speed resolutions, eventually improving the number of users the system would be able to handle, adding a maximum safe capacity of another 100x. So he was asked pretty much about Omisego and if they'll eventually be able to scale up to 1 million transactions per second. Buterin confidently responded, if it does, sharding will allow it to scale up to 100 million transactions per second. Unsurprisingly, this led to the question of whether or not it could scale up to 1 billion. Buterin responded by outlining that there are just a few physical barriers which could potentially limit the number of transactions the Ethereum network could handle, providing all technological improvements are integrated and work as intended. For a very long time, I said this before in other videos, the magic number when it comes to scaling has constantly always been 1 million transactions per second. If you have 1 million transactions per second, that equals, math time, 60 million transactions per second, and you can comfortably more or less handle a large percentage of the world's transactions that are flowing through the system at any given time. This is why the 1 million number was very significant. But to be told that we could potentially hit 100 million transactions per second, or potentially even 1 billion transactions per second, especially when we only are capable of doing 15 transactions per second, sounds absolutely insane. We have had news nonstop over the past 2 years about scaling and now sharding and stuff like that, and exactly when it will be released, especially with Casper. None of this has been released yet. It seems they are still working very hard on this. I don't know exactly when any of this is actually going to come out, or even when Ethereum will be able to handle 1 billion transactions per second. If they work diligently enough and they're able to pull this off within the next 2 years, there's no doubt in my mind which will be the number 1 coin. But like I said, as of now, I think even last summer, we were told that we would be getting these upgrades. Still have not happened, but now the Omisego team is also working on trying to get Plasma active, because when Plasma is active, they also get to benefit from the 1 million transactions per second as well. let's see when, not even if anymore. I'm pretty sure they've mentioned before and have hinted that they're very close to releasing it. So let's see exactly when this does come out, because it's going to be a very, very exciting time for the Ethereum and the ERC20 token community. At the moment, so there was news that Ethereum finally managed to cross the $600 price line because of it was going down for such a long time. This has slightly almost been reversed because of Mr. Number One decided to go down, so every other coin is being affected at the moment. We had a pretty good weekend, which was kind of nice. If you saw any of the prices, there was a lot of green. There was a sea of green. EOS still has not officially, or rather they may not have built their mainnet as of yet. They said that it could take up to 48 hours to possibly a bit longer, because they're trying to make sure that they have all these snapshots correct, in that when the EOS tokens were frozen on the network, they want to make sure that all the snapshots are correct, everyone's coins are secure, so when they do launch the mainnet, they can drag everything over and make sure that you have your money. A lot of people have been complaining that they expected the mainnet to be launched after around 5 hours of them ending the entire thing and freezing the entire network. This is not how it works. There are a lot of other coins that are trying to attack the EOS blockchain because they do not like the project. I have seen some of the craziest comments in the entire world in the comment section below. I'm sure, well, not this one, not in this video, but the other one that I made, any video about EOS, the things that people say about the EOS team, kind of out there. I don't know where you guys are getting this stuff from, why you hate EOS so much. Kind of entertaining to look at. Like I said, the weekend was kind of good, which is kind of odd because the weekends tend to, have the price go down. I don't know what it's going to take for Bitcoin to start to go back up, but there's so much heavy development on other coins that I think Bitcoin might have to get it together, or it's going to be left behind in a couple of weeks. Next up, Estonia is in the news. You don't typically hear about Estonia at all. Estonia rolled back its plan to establish a national cryptocurrency called Estcoin, following criticism from the president of the European Central Bank, Mario Draghi, and local banking authorities, Bloomberg reported on June 1st. The managing director of the Estonian e-residency program, Kaspar Korjus, proposed the development and issuance of Estcoin in August of last year. Along with becoming Estonia's national virtual currency, Estcoin would ostensibly, why do I not know that word, evolve into the official currency for the country's e-residency program. In the program, Estcoin would serve as an incentive for foreigners who use Estonian electronics identification to remotely sign documents and found companies. Draghi said in September, no member state can introduce its own currency. The currency of the Eurozone is the euro. Estcoins will now only be given as an impetus to e-residents, according to Sim Sikut, these names, an official in charge of the country's IT strategy. Sikut said in an interview with Bloomberg, he said, "We agreed in the discussions with politicians that Estcoin will proceed as a means for transactions inside the e-resident community. Other options aren't on the table. We're not building a new currency." Gorjus confirmed Sikut's statements, saying that the community Estcoin is still being analyzed. He added that Estcoin would definitely not be a national cryptocurrency. I am under the impression, or I feel that they were probably bullied into saying no. I think there are 2 or 3 other European countries who have talked about going cashless and have talked about building their own cryptocurrencies, at least in whispers or maybe rumors of articles that I found online. I am certain that what ends up happening is that a lot of times when one country does something, other countries tend to follow. There's a huge issue right now within the EU that a lot of countries, or at least some of the southern countries, have thought about backing out of the euro. So I am sure that if Estonia had been able to do this, at least 2 other countries would have done it. And then I assume we would have had news that Spain, Greece, and or Italy would have also thought about creating their own digital currency. And that is a major no-no in the space. like I said, I give it about a year or 2 years until we have one major country that kind of says they don't really care anymore. They figured out a way to profit from it. They're going to create their own cryptocurrency, and then we'll see everyone else rolling forward. But at the moment, I think crypto is still very scary to a lot of politicians because, like I said before, they just don't understand what it is. I don't think they want to understand what it is. And a lot of news over the weekend had a lot of people talking about that blockchain was a fad and that cryptos are a fad, simply because they see no use cases. And I'm going to assume, as usual, that they have not done their own research. Next up, SBI is once again in the news. We had news a couple of days ago that their website had launched. I think I had said that the exchange had launched, but apparently it was the website being officially launched and or revamped on the 1st. And now today, the 4th of June, it apparently has officially more or less been launched in some sort of way. Japanese financial giant SBI Holdings announced on Monday that its in-house cryptocurrency exchange is now live after a months-long delay due to security concerns. Called VC Trade, the service is currently open for users who have pre-registered with the platform in October of 2017. The company said in the announcement and expects it to be available for a wider public in July of this year. They pushed this back since I think like January or February. So even the pre-registered people, good job. Please have fun on the network. In addition, SBI said as a first step, VC Trade will focus on the trading of XRP, the native token derived from the Ripple protocol, after which the exchange will subsequently add support for Bitcoin and Bitcoin Cash, though an initial timeline for that remains unclear at this stage. I don't know if you guys can hear the guy cutting the grass in the back. Sorry about that. The decision is perhaps not surprising, giving SBI's holdings existing works in piloting the remittance technology provided by the San Francisco-based Ripple that uses a distributed ledger to make cross-border transactions. I think they also noted that they are going to at some point add Ethereum. I think it would be odd if they did not add Ethereum. Typically, everything that's added is always Bitcoin and Ethereum back to back. Still no official word if XRP will eventually be the head of the market on SBI, in that, typically Bitcoin is always the number one coin and you have to trade from Bitcoin into Ripple, Bitcoin into Ethereum, Bitcoin into Litecoin. The rumor has it that XRP will actually be the main coin. If you dig deeper, I don't have information about it in this particular video. SBI is very closely linked with Ripple and Brad Garlinghouse, and on this news, all of this right here, SBI has also announced that they are looking to integrate with xRapid. SBI Virtual Currencies, SBI VC, is looking to join the xRapid ecosystem. Ripple's enterprise grade solution to help institutions source liquidity for cross-border payments between Japan and the rest of the world. Ripple will eventually integrate SBI VC's API so that xRapid users, payment providers, and banks who are transferring money into and out of Japan can convert XRP to JPY and JPY to XRP instantly through SBI VC, that is SBI Virtual Currencies. Not even going into speculation and stuff like that, but if you look around, there's a lot that's actually happening with Ripple. People think that they're being very tight-lipped or aren't giving out information, but if you look deeper, there's a lot of stuff, like really weird stuff that's actually going on with Ripple, and I'm very excited to see all of this finally happen, because there's even news about potential partnerships that, if they are real, that they're also going to be using xRapid, and it's just going to be a matter of time before whatever. I'm not going to even say it in this video. Next up, so quantum computing is more or less in the news when it comes to cryptocurrencies. Popular fears about the continued rise of quantum computing and its security implications for blockchain technology are misguided and blown out of proportion. This is the professional opinion of Jeffrey Tucker, editorial director at the American Institute of Economic Research. Tucker is of the view that the fear of quantum computing as an existential threat to Bitcoin and other blockchain applications is based on scaremongering and ignorance. In actual fact, he says the entire basis of blockchain technology is to crowdsource solutions for problems including security threats potentially posed by quantum computing, and this is what makes blockchain networks superior to centrally planned networks and platforms. Insisting that any potential security risks are solvable, Tucker references a research paper published by Dr. Gavin Brennan, a quantum physicist at Macquarie University in Sydney, Australia, who is a globally respected authority on the subject of quantum computing. You can tell that I just woke up. Dr. Brennan's paper analyzes the threats posed by quantum computing to blockchain technology using a study to ascertain how possible it is for a quantum computer to rig a blockchain by centralizing its hashing power, and whether it can crack a cryptographic key, which is currently the main security apparatus that protects blockchain users. The results indicate that quantum technology as we imagine it and quantum technology as it currently exists are still far away from each other. One of the main arguments over 2 or 3 years ago, I want to say somewhere around that time frame, was that Bitcoin was trash, or cryptocurrencies were trash because of quantum computing. They said, once we get quantum computers up and running, a lot of people were talking about, it wasn't MIT, I can't remember who it was. They were saying we're going to be able to destroy the Bitcoin blockchain and destroy all of cryptocurrencies. Therefore, no one should be using it. A lot of people still think that we are about 5, 10, 12 years away from being able to have quantum computers as we imagine it in our heads. A lot of the things that are happening with quantum computers are not actually real at this moment. A lot of it is just imagined. And I think a lot of it is like kind of people just trying to scare other people. I don't know if they see Bitcoin as a threat or whatever the case might be. But even then, a lot of people are saying that as computers and technologies continue to grow, especially with quantum computing, on the other side of this coin, blockchains will also continue to grow. The blockchain space is going to be completely different from where it is now over the next 10, like I said, 5, 10, 15 years, completely different. And they think that at some point we will be able to completely secure all blockchains so that they have or are not threatened in any way by quantum computing. Kind of looking forward to this, but it's good to hear that this is in the news. I think you guys can definitely hear that in the background. Next up, NEO is in the news, and also the stablecoin. Once again, like I said, there's a fair amount of competition in the world of digital stablecoins right now. On the one hand, there's Tether with a somewhat dubious reputation in the eyes of most people. There's also True USD, which recently started gaining traction. It now seems Alchemist is preparing to issue a stablecoin based on NEO's technology. One thing which no one can deny is that there is no shortage of stablecoins in the world of blockchain and cryptocurrency. While that is a positive development in one way, it also remains to be seen how successful all of these tokens will be in the future. Tether is still the leading stablecoin in the industry, as it has the highest market cap of all stablecoins on the market today. Whether or not Tether's USDT will be rivaled by True USD in the long run remains an open question. True USD was only launched recently and is now listed on Binance despite some liquidity concerns. Moreover, the world's biggest trading platform has decided to pair USDT with True USD to see how users would respond. While that competition is quickly heating up, it now seems there's another stablecoin waiting in the wings, known as SDUSD. That is ridiculous. It is a new stablecoin currency pegged to the US dollar. Unlike the others, however, this particular stablecoin will not be issued on top of Omni or Ethereum. Instead, the Alchemist team is looking to use the NEO blockchain for this venture. On paper, this makes a lot of sense. The NEO blockchain offers very similar technology to Ethereum, even though its underpinning technology is very different. Even so, the Alchemist team is taking a gamble by creating a stablecoin on top of the NEO chain. Additionally, maintaining a 1-to-1 ratio with the US dollar is always challenging, even for the other stable coins out there. I said this a couple of weeks ago. This is now the 8th, 9th, or 10th stable coin that we have. I told you this, guys, is going to completely explode in the market. I still have my theory that eventually these will become the countries within the cryptocurrency space. Not that they're going to be adopted by countries, which someone else thought I said in another video. In that when people are looking to cash out in some sort of way on the cryptocurrency market, or to stop when the prices are falling, they're going to start putting their money into the stable coin of their choice, because we're going to have so many of them to choose from. This, like I said, this is 8, 9, or 10 that we now have coming out, and there's still more that are also supposed to be released in June and also in July, which is going to be absolutely insane. When it comes to the idea of stable coins, I like it and dislike it. Dislike it mainly because of the manipulation, but on the same side of this manipulation, you have, you know, like the little angel standing on your shoulder. With this printing of stable coins, none of it is going to be regulated, like I said, for a very long time. We saw the market completely explode just based on tethers printing last year. Now, what is going to happen when we have, I know we're going to have 25 stable coins by the end of this year. What's going to happen when we have all 25 of these stable coins and they're all constantly buying up these other coins in the market? I think we're going to just, it's going to be a very interesting year. I don't know. I like all the stablecoin news because it gives me like renewed hope in some type of like major pump. I don't know. I think I'm just crazy at this point. All right, everyone. Last up, IOTA is in the news. On the 3rd of May, IOTA announced the birth of Cubic in a tweet. They said, "We are moving rapidly towards the next epoch of IOTA. Today, the IOTA Foundation is excited and proud to start officially availing of Cubic. However, different interpretations surface with different theories pointing to a Medium blogger whose early interpretations of the tech was deleted on Reddit. The blogger linked Cubic to Jin tokens due to his claim that the innovation is affiliated to programmer Sergey Ivancheglo, nicknamed Come From Behind. That is, oh my gosh, stating that he intended, created a technology named Cubic. In an article, CFB, or Come From Behind, explained what Cubic stood for, stating that it is very close to Bitcoin. However, it stated that the technology does not rely on blockchain technology. The technology specializes in Jin-based IoT gadgets, he said in a post. To kill all speculations, the team behind IOTA have opened up to saying Cubic is a protocol that specifies IOTA's solution for Oracle machines, smart contracts, outsourced computations, and more. According to the team, Cubic has evolved over time into something markedly different from the original Quora-based coin idea, coined on Bitcoin Talk in September 2012, stating that the most clear difference between the two is that these now exist as a working protocol to serve as the messaging and payment system IOTA. So it appears, like I said, eventually I think every single major coin is going to have a smart contract. I think it's kind of the only way to be able to survive right now, because people like the idea of smart contracts, especially if you are doing everything in real life, if you're trying to trade physical assets back and forth, but even just more so because smart contracts are a way to kind of speed the network up, as you can send payments through smart contracts. So it's good to hear, like, this is literally, I think, just about every major coin should have some type of smart contract platform. Bitcoin has one, Ethereum has one, Ripple has one, Litecoin doesn't have one, I think. Neo has one, IOTA has one. What am I missing? I don't think Bitcoin Cash has one. Not to even ramble on who has a smart contract platform or not. But yeah, good to hear that this is currently underway. Alrighty, everyone, that is definitely going to do it for this video. As always, I hope you guys enjoyed. Hope you guys have a great day, morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are, wherever you might be. Market's still going down. Thank you once again for watching. Yeah, right. Never know how to end these things. I will talk to you all soon. See you.